Hello everybody and welcome to our next episode of Is It Worth It? Today we're doing solo tracking, so this was introduced a while back along with the shapeshifter staffs. And tracking is a method in which to obtain those items along with a few of the journal entries which will also allow you to get those items. But we're jumping into tracking. There's two versions. The first is solo tracking. The second is group. Obviously, the group gives better rewards. We're not going to be doing that in this session. We'll do that in the next session. We're going to jump right in. And the method we're going to be using to do our tracking is going to be by utilizing the Roads of Avalon to do our tracking with an emphasis on connections that do not have red or yellow or blue zone connections. The reason for that is that it just allows too many people in. The likelihood of me getting come across while I'm in the middle of doing one of the bosses is much higher. So I tend to just re-roll those connections when they happen. We'll factor that into the total amount of time that this actually takes. It's currently 0613 UTC. We're going to be filming for about 6 hours today. Just to kind of get everything we need to put this video together. And then we'll figure out, in the end, is it worth it? Now, one of the benefits that you can do in the solo tracking is that you actually only need T6 gear in order to do all of the bosses. So you heard me right. You can do all of the bosses, at least that I'm able to do so far, in T6 gear. That has not been a problem. I'm using a T6 battle axe, so you can look at the gear over here. I'm running Scholar Cal for mana, no faction cape, Merc jacket, battle axe, boots. This is very similar to what I was running in my Iron Man. The difference being I'm running a couple gig pots just in case, and beef stews, the gig pots are for PvP.
Here the werewolf is hunting for prey, not knowing it is also being stalked.
Alright, we beat the werewolf. We made a whole 40k, folks. Whole 40k there. Alright, so we got that one. We got a whole 50k from this one. Whole 50k. So in combined, we made 90k so far. $80K. $174K. Okay, that's pretty good. $86K, I got a T5 root. 2K.
Not afraid.
$60K for a T7 solo core. Gross.
You will pay. Dust to dust. We are not afraid.
I mean, that's not terrible. $150K. It's not nothing. It's not. See, just 2 bits. 160K on that. 30K on that rare quarry T7.
Get up. Awaken. We are not afraid.
50K. That's it.
You will belong. Nature awaken. This ends here. We are not afraid.
Yeah, it's about 6 hours total at this point. 3.83 million. Didn't lose a set, so this is all profit. And so we'll do the math on it. If you guys want to figure it all out, right? So 3.83 million. Let's pull up the old calculator. Just because I want the exact number. It's 3,829,486. And we divide that by 6 hours. 638,247 silver per hour is what this activity roughly generates. And that's with me not doing any T8 Dawnbirds. I was only doing T7 and below. Just because of skills. Hey everybody, I just wanted to go over a few things about solo tracking that I think would help anyone who's going to do this activity. So number one, choice of weapons. So anything high sustain is fine. So battle axe is fine. You can also do druidic is also does really well. One of the things I would recommend avoiding if you're in the Roads of Avalon is T8 zones. Now the reason for this is that T8 zones, as you're doing your tracking, the mobs that spawn, and sometimes it'll spawn a little cluster of them, are all going to be T8 Avalonian mobs. So you don't need to do those. It makes things take longer, more difficult than it needs to be. You can do all of the same tracking and all of the same tiers in both T4 and T6 Avalonian zones with no issues. So I would avoid that altogether. The other thing is, instead of taking the potions that I took, I would recommend taking like 20 or so poison potions out with you, the T4s, and use those, continuously throughout your events. It's going to speed up your kill time pretty significantly due to the true damage that the poison is doing. The last thing that I would recommend to everyone is that when you're looking at mount choices, you shouldn't take something like a stag unless you're going to combine gathering in with this activity. So if you're going to do this along with gathering, then sure, yeah, take a stag of boar or something like that. I choose to take an armored horse because the amount of times that I got chased or attempted to be ganked or something like that, and that was on the Saturday that I was doing some filming, was pretty significant. But I never actually got caught because the armored horse saved me every time. So anyway, just a few tips and tricks. Hope everyone has a great time playing Albion, doing some gaming. Do me a favor, drop me a subscribe and like the channel. It helps with the algorithm. And if you'd like to see me do something else, figure out what the rub is on a certain activity, please drop a comment below and I'll take a look at it. Thanks.